How's it going? And thank you so much for joining us today. This is a very exciting time and a very exciting episode. It's like we're doing this live right now, and what we're going to be doing is answering your questions, as well as just announcing some awesome and beautiful things that we have going on right now with Nick. And so if you haven't yet, I'm just going to encourage you right now to subscribe to this channel and follow along for the journey, because in this, what we're doing, we're going to be answering not only your questions, but we're going to be going deeper into a lot of the subjects and things that you guys have probably wanted to ask and find out more regarding Nick. And so this is the perfect place and the perfect time to do that as we start. And so I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining us, Nick.
It's wonderful to have you fly in from Georgia, Atlanta. And thank you for... and thank you to your wife for allowing you to come for 2 days, as we've been actually recording 4 episodes so far. And the big announcement date, ready, drum roll, September 1 is Labor Day. I know that could be a good thing or a bad thing for you as far as checking it out.
Hopefully they have more time to see it because everyone will be home.
Hopefully,
on social media.
I think so. I think it's not a bad bet, and so we're excited about it. And it is something that I've been praying about and thinking about, and glad that we're doing this, and especially this live now, that people feel like those of you at home, you have questions, and I'd love to kind of be more real with you and on this kind of comfortable, informal setting. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Looking forward to it. And so, one of the questions that came in.
This is Gus, by the way.
You want to tell them about me, or should I?
You should tell them about yourself first. Go for it. They don't know who you are.
So I was born this way.
Was it cigarettes?
There's no medical explanation.
Cigarettes? So good. So good.
I remember. So, we were talking about this story the other day when we were in Mexico, because we went through 18 different cities in Mexico. And one of those, we were with our friend Victor, we were like, I should go to the stage and introduce myself as if I was Nick. So this is me. There's no medical explanation why I was born this way.
You're so funny. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, for Nick and I have been doing life, working together, both as an employee, as a caregiver, and then also as his media director, and now just building and creating things with him, alongside him. And that's been very exciting. So for
12 years.
For 7 years off and on of those 12, I was your caregiver.
Yes.
And so we traveled to about 26, 28 countries together, and heard many of the speeches, heard many of the talks. And like I shared with you in one of the recordings that we already have for our episodes, is that it hit me when I was able to tell my wife, like, I am one of 2 people at that time who have this position, who have this job. And so it felt like a very weighty invitation and very weighty responsibility to be there. So all these years, I'm honored and still am to call you my friend, and to be able to have done the things that we did, and all the amazing stories and funny stories that we've had. So
it's been an incredible ride, and we're so thankful. I reconnected with Gus on a business level several years ago, and I said, hey, let's figure out what this really looks like. And now seeing where we've been, seeing the ministry birthed in America 20 years ago. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary as nickvministries.org, and really excited about that. If you'd like to know more about the ministry, nickvministries.org, go check it out. And we are thankful to be here in north of Dallas area. This is where me and my beautiful wife, our beautiful 4 children, are based, and very thankful to be in the great state of Texas. And we're glad that you're joining us here for this live, and we're gonna now deep dive into some questions that you've got that from you and some other people as well.
So we asked your followers on Instagram specifically, because it's just an easier place to capture questions and to submit questions, and we have dozens of questions.
We do. Amazing.
So we're gonna do our best for Nick to answer them as quickly as possible. But again, I'm going to encourage you and invite you to just, if you're not yet, subscribe and follow along, because some of these podcast episodes are going to be going deeper into some of these questions. So these are just like minor introductions to some of those episodes already. So we'll start with this one. It was a very simple and plain question, but there's so much I think you can say on it, and that's the tricky part. You're gonna have to decide. So here it is.
Yeah, my disability is I'm a speaker, so I speak a lot.
It's like a pastor who says 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
An hour later, they're not
2 minutes Turkish.
So Here we go. Maybe we should make it rapid fire, but we'll see. First question, here it is.
How long you want? You want 60 seconds, 90 seconds? How many you want? You want me to get a stopwatch?
Let's say 60 to 90. I have it right here.
Let's go. Here we go. Okay, ready? Let's go.
How does someone overcome overthinking?
Whoa. It really depends on, what category that is. I think sometimes there are times in life where we overthink in a context of fear. I think really our emotions, our thoughts on where we're at spiritually really would bring more context. So if it's out of a fear of rejection, fear of failure, and all these kinds of things, there's this balance of extremes of doing the best with what you have, being thankful for what you can change, trying to change what you can, and then accepting what you cannot change. And so I think wisdom plays a lot in that, in seasons of life, people around you as well. I would really suggest as well seeking maybe some mentors around you, some trusted friends that you may look up to in different ways. But there's a lot to unpack there. But I think the one thing we must not overthink is our salvation. Keep it simple. Read the Bible. Hold on to that. Faith is number one. And the 6 categories of life I always talk about is faith, family, friends, fitness, finance, fun. And when you set simple goals, kind of simplifies everything, and you can track your trajectory. And as you continue to live out life to its fullest, I want you to reach your full potential. I'm never a person to say that, hey, everything's possible, but I want you to reach your full potential.
So good.
Was that 89 seconds?
Just about, yeah. That's good.
According to my wristwatch.
So thank you for that. So let me ask you this next one. So if I know there's so much you can say in regards to the topic and the subject of depression.
Yep.
But if you had to pick, like if there's a list of 10, what would be the first step that someone could take to exit, to come out of depression?
Yeah, I'm going to squeeze in 5 things. So number 1, write out a list of the 10 things you're thankful for and read it out loud over your life, the blessings. Number 2, think of the 5 worst days of your life in the last 5 years and think about how it could have been worse. Even if it's only 2 or 3, I know it sounds yuck, but you don't have to be stuck in the yuck. Just trust me, do that exercise and write out how it actually could have been thankful. So for me, as an example, I buried my father, but at least I could say goodbye. At least I had a good friendship with him. And these are the attitude of gratitude, first 2 keys. Number 3, tell a friend. And potentially that friend might say, you know what, you might need counseling. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling. I went through counseling 4 years ago. I went through a lot, 2019, 2020, 2021. And we talk about it in one of our podcast episodes about the difficulties of life. And I share transparently what had happened to me in counseling and all these things. And so, and then number 4 is go help someone else in need. Sometimes you got to get your focus off of you and your need and your feelings and go try help someone else. Go to a homeless shelter, literally, and give them a hug, give them food, give them a blanket. Be a listening ear to someone else. See how you can be of service to someone else. And then 5, get a verse of the Bible that holds you through that season. And so my favorite one is Philippians 4:13, for you can endure all things through Christ who strengthens you. And so these are the 5 things that I always tell people, that here are the 5 points that you can get slowly, eventually, daily, some suggestions to get out of depression.
So good. So good. So if I heard you correctly, what it starts in the mind. It's just getting some of those thoughts and some of those limiting beliefs already out.
Yeah, I think it's putting the feelings aside, not putting down your feelings, but going first in the mind and remembering the things that you can be thankful for. Like, I have no limbs. I'm thankful for my little foot. I'm thankful for a house over my head. I'm thankful for my wife, my kids, money comes and goes, take out my tongue, burn my skin, you won't touch my soul. And so from the faith to the family to the friends, I think that's what matters most. And we always need to go back to reestablishing in the mind an attitude of gratitude.
That's good. That's good. So it's like it starts from the mind, and then you're bringing it out on how to walk that out and do that in a practical way with people and so on. So that's really great. So I think on the subject of that, continuing into the next one, the next question was how does someone become tough? Like what makes you tough in life? But I think that's a good place also to touch on resilience. I think that's one of the ways you would answer it. But how would you answer it? Like, how does somebody become tough in life?
Yeah, look, it's someone that doesn't try to avoid obstacles and trying to get through life with the least amount of resistance. There is no resilience without resistance. And if you're living a life where everything's cruising and excellent, I think you're a liar. Especially Christians who say, oh, everything's great, God bless you, praying for you. I'm like, you're lying in church. You're not really praying for me. Don't tell me you're praying for me. And if everything's good and we're here to sip a pina colada, like they're actually not really truthful to themselves. We understand life has ups and downs, higher highs and lower lows and difficult days. More than half of my days, half of my years, I sometimes actually say 3/4 of my days and years have been more difficult than good. But that's what created me who I am today, my faith, my character. And when you exercise that muscle of resilience, it gets bigger and bigger. And I think it's asking God for wisdom and needing that all the time. There's no season of life where you need less wisdom. No matter who you are, no matter what you're doing. So seeking for that, seeking for humility, and understanding in that humility that I'm still a work in progress. I'm still under construction. And God's building up my resilience and character. And it's His plan, not my plan. And, many people say, man, you're strong, Nick. I'm like, well, I wasn't born that way. I was born pretty weak, crying baby, playing the victim card. Blessed to have a home who said, suck it up, be thankful. God's got a plan for you. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful. They didn't give me everything I wanted, when I wanted it, how I wanted it. That brought resilience. Helping me in the mind to set goals, doing short-term goals, kind of giving myself a pat on the back every time I did short-term goals and little steps. So I think all those things kind of play into that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I want everybody to know that we've already recorded one episode specifically on the subject of resilience, and I'm letting you know that it is profound. We go deep. Good one. We go deep on some of the things, and if you've been following Nick for years, read his book and his books, and watched all the videos that you can, there's a lot of context in that specific episode to a lot of the things that you're even mentioning now. And I think that's a good segue to like the next question that I have here. And again, and I'm sure you know this from traveling so many different countries, 84 countries.
84.
Been in face to face with 700 million people in different
digital.
Oh, digital. Okay.
Digital. 896 million now. To preach the gospel through Nick V Ministries, but then on top of that, 1 billion people in China, 1 billion people in India. So about 2.8 billion. Know something about this limbless dude who's pretty short for his age.
Right. But I would say that you also find that the questions that come are almost the same. It doesn't matter what context, doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter where it's coming. People are people, and they're going through things, right? And so this question, I think, is a question that a lot of us ask when we're in our tough places. How can I start learning to love myself?
Yeah, look, first and foremost for me, it really started from an interesting perspective where I'd go to school and people would bully me and kind of judge me for how I looked. They chose not to and decided not to play with me because of my differences, and they judged the book by its cover. And I realized, well, now I know how it feels to be judged by how I look. Man, they missed out on a good friendship. How much more do we really worry about how we look on the outside, whether it's looking at people or ourselves in the mirror? we're not defined by how we look or what the world says about you. When you hear that the world says you're not good enough, get a second opinion. I love that one. And go back
so
to
good.
the truth of, you're wonderfully and fearfully made. There's not another you. You're irreplaceable. And today's the moment. The only moment you have right now is now. You can't have yesterday back. You have no tomorrow as far as like what you could see tomorrow and make now a prediction of tomorrow. I mean, you can make all the predictions under the sun, but bottom line is you've only got now, and being thankful for now. And, spiritually, mentally, I think that's the war about the enemy wanting to suppress you, to disable you, to cripple you, and saying you're not good enough. Look at you, you're a failure. And so for me to understand, people are not valued based on what you can or cannot do, how you look or how you don't look, how many people are your friends or not your friends. It's knowing whose you are and knowing that I am created by God. He didn't perfectly have this in plan. This was sin's effect on humanity, death, sickness, disease, disabilities. But what the enemy tried to use so bad, God turns into good. And I tell people now, like now on the other side of all of that, I realize, there's a greater purpose in life, and to understand that it's not just you who's understanding the truth of your value and your purpose and your full potential, but it's you understanding that it's not always just about you. It's about making the world a better place, one step at a time, one smile at a time, one act at a time. And it's what I want. It's why I do what I've done by the grace of God. There's always one more out there who's thinking of suicide, who's maybe even attempted suicide, who's depressed, who's anxious. I always tell people, I don't try to tell you that I understand your pain. I don't. And there's no hope in comparing each other's sufferings, but there is hope in faith in God and knowing that resilience to choose to never ever give up. Not knowing what the future would hold, you need to first and foremost thank the Lord for what you have, thank the Lord for today, and give your broken pieces a chance. And when you don't get a miracle, know that you can still be a miracle for someone else, which is something very profound.
That's so good. So I think, you said something right now. You said that where you are now on the other side, these things, you can see these things. But that reminds me of like even the quote you've said, like, you don't know what God can do with your broken pieces until you've given your broken pieces a chance, right? But at that point also, it's like somebody has to go the long run, right? Go through the pain and go through some of those hard things to actually see what those broken pieces can turn into. I mean, because imagine you would have actually given up and done the deed of taking your life away. Right. You wouldn't have known how beautiful the broken pieces are, because now you're affecting hundreds and thousands of people across the globe, and it starts with those little one decisions, right? Those little moments and so on. So that's really good. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. That's a great. Let me give you the next question. I think it's a really good one. Someone asked, I'm struggling with building my faith in God when feelings of worry and identity are hitting. So how does someone build their identity in God when they have worry or anxiety and they're trying to find even who they are in the midst of all that?
Yeah, when I was going through seasons of that, I would make myself disciplined to read one psalm and one proverb, a chapter of Psalms and Proverbs. And what's beautiful about that is knowing that God, we can't see God, but He's here, His Holy Spirit's here. And when you read the Word of God, faith comes. Faith, full assurance in the heart. Despite what you see, despite what you feel, despite what you think you understand, seeing our life from God's perspective, Him knowing the future and all the things of us, despite us, He still loves on us and has an incredible hope, plan, and future for you. For me, I love, for this context, Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not upon your own understanding, acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. And as you read and build up that faith, and just ask God, what am I thinking that you want me to stop thinking? Ask him, what am I not thinking you want me to start thinking? And what am I thinking well that you want me to keep on thinking? And all those thoughts should be lined up with the Bible. If they're not, then they're not the thoughts from him. It's very interesting.
Good. Yeah.
And so when it starts with the mind, again, it's the decision of knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and discernment, which are 4 different things. And so having people pray for you, like saying, hey, I'm struggling with this, maybe talking to someone, maybe you need counseling, maybe you need to read a book. That's a good, I don't know what context you're talking about. But yeah, look, anxiety will handcuff you more than anything else. I know what that is. I know what depression is. I know what identity questioning is as well. But there is nothing under the sun new to God. He knows how you feel. And come to him and walk with him through it and ask him how to renew your mind.
That's so good. Because so I've heard you say that.
It doesn't mean that you're never depressed again. Doesn't mean you're never anxious. Like,
right.
You know, I still go through ups and downs. We all go through that. We go through seasons and ebbs and flows and those kinds of things. But yeah, those would be the things I would say.
That's awesome. Because so I've heard you say that specific thing in the context of friendships and relationships, which I'll ask you now on my own. But you said asking God specifically those 3 questions.
Yep.
And I've never heard you say that in the context of relationship with God. And honestly, I don't think I've ever even thought of it in that way, but I've done it with my wife. So I guess you have this similar answer to how does someone grow in the relationship and building their faith in God. In the same way, that's how does someone grow in the relationship with their loved ones, with their friends, because it's also things that we can take, those questions.
Yeah.
And so help us now take those 3 questions and put it in the context of marriage, but in the context of friendship. Yeah,
actually, this is the first time that I ever thought of putting what I'm about to say in a different way and using the word thought, and this will make sense now. I have been saying for a very long time up on stage, there's 3 questions that I ask God every day. What am I doing that you want me to stop doing? What am I not doing that you want me to start doing? What am I doing well that you want me to keep on doing? It's the same 3 questions that really was reverse engineered at a marriage conference that me and my wife went to, and it was beautiful. Dave and Mary Gothi, and incredible, The Significant Marriage. If you're looking for the best marriage seminar and group, just The Significant Marriage, absolutely incredible. And they do a lot of things online. And you know, me and my wife, first and foremost, we didn't want to wait for our marriage to feel like we're on the rocks before we go to a marriage conference. And we, you know, when you buy a car, you don't just drive it till it stops, right? You take it to the mechanic, you do an oil change, you make sure the radiator is good, the alternator is good, the brakes are good, and everything else is good, the fuel pump. Same thing with your marriage. You know, it's called maintenance. It's proactivity and understanding that no marriage is perfect, no husband's perfect, no wife is perfect. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And in marriage specifically, you know, they always say that if you feel like you're doing 60% and your partner's doing 40% of the effort, you're about right, because they both think the same thing. And so, and by the way, if we're talking about marriage, I just have to say it. If you're single and you're waiting to be married to be happy, go talk to some married people. It's actually quite hard work. It's beautiful blessings, marriage and children, if God gives you all that and all that. But the whole 3 questions, I mean, I just actually took out, you know, I don't lie. And you saw it on my calendar yesterday. I took my wife out on a date. And
I asked you today about it.
You did.
Follow up.
And we did. It was great. But we ask each other on a monthly basis, honey, what am I doing that you want me to stop doing? Like, have you ever asked your wife that question?
Say it again slowly.
Yeah, well, I'll repeat it. Honey, what am I doing that you want me to stop doing? And we're afraid of the answer because I think sometimes we know it. And sometimes it's just unexpected. Oh, really? That like pisses you off? Like that really annoys you? I had no idea. I'm so sorry. That's an easy fix.
Well, let me pause you there, because if someone's going to ask these questions, there has to be a heart posture before it, right?
There has to be
like, I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to receive, and if I need to, I'm going to take notes, right? Like
no, you won't need notes. Like it's going to hit you hard in the face. You don't
want to, like, I know what you're not saying is ask these questions so you guys can get in a fight, because you know what they're going to say, and it's almost like when the wife says it, it's like it just hits in a different way because it's your wife.
But it's a good thing because it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Right? If it's a two-way street and it's reciprocated love, It's what Uncle Bart always said. You can't break reciprocated love.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're human and you don't communicate.
Yeah.
Like imagine, right? Talk about you're trying to correlate relationship with God first. Imagine if I just said good morning God and good night God every day. Is that thank you for my food, bless the food, bless my day. I'm sorry, that is not a relationship with God. You that's not how this. It's like me saying hi, good morning, babe, good night, babe. That's
Right,
it. Like
right.
that's not a relationship, right? It's a real relationship. Our relationship with the Lord is He's the number one filter. So everything that we plan, say, and do to bring glory to Him. And when we fail, we ask for forgiveness, and we do become closer to who He wants us to be. In our marriage, going back to the first question, it's this, hey, honey, I want us to start doing this, to ask each other these three questions. And the first one is, what am I doing that you want me to stop doing? And then the second one is, what am I not doing you want me to start doing? And then the third thing is, what am I doing well that you want me to keep on doing? And that's just to get oxygen back in your lungs. And take a breath, take a walk, come back and then sit down. And then switch roles.
Yeah. Yep.
And have the other spouse say, what's up? And some things are easy, some things are not. Some things will be unearthed, and not guaranteeing you that you're not going to fight. But some things need addressing. And you can bury something, but dude, if you bury it, it's going to poke its head up like a beautiful snake and eat you alive when you least expect it.
Yeah.
And you let that muster up. And so, when you have an infection, it's sore.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to clean it up. You just band-aid it up. The flesh is eating on the inside. You need to get the infection fixed. Don't just help the symptom.
Yeah. I mean,
which is hurtful and painful.
That burying it is like you can, what you're trying to help people avoid is get to the point where it's too hard to ask those questions now, because now you need to have different conversations. Like those questions are to help create like a safeguard while you're in, even if it's hard or tension moments, it's good. But if you're burying something for so long, those questions aren't going to be so helpful, because you're going to have some different conversations, and bring some interjection of other people.
But here's the side rails. If you love each other and you love your relationship and you understand the parameters of, we're going to make this work no matter what, under the parameters. Everyone says, well, I can divorce because she cheated on me or he cheated on me. I know so many people whose spouses cheat on them and they still decided not to divorce. There's so many incredible stories of divorce, and they come back with each other. Incredible. But that was only because of faith, love, and giving your broken piece a chance, and understanding and identifying the fact of negligence of a communicative level like that. There's forgiveness, there's healing only because the healing power and redemptive power of Jesus Christ. And so, there's a lot there. I mean, that's a podcast in itself. Right.
And, I mean, you brought up the cross, you brought up the relationship with God, and it's like the cross has two aspects, has a vertical aspect and a horizontal aspect. And as much as us having our relationship with God in a good standing, in a good place, and upright and holy, in the same way with our friendships, with our relationships.
Right. So next is the spouse. And if you and your wife are good, then your kids are a lot better than good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really amazing, because, as parents, you've got four kids, I've got four kids. When you have four kids, even though two of my kids are identical twins, you figure out that each child you need to parent differently.
Completely agree. Yeah,
not
definitely.
just their love language, but everything, and maturity level and exposure in their class and academics, and so many variables. It just makes everyone unique. Well, you then uniquely have to be that father that's not just their father but their friend.
Yeah.
And so seeing and identifying what we could invest in. I think a lot of parents kind of just get so narrow-minded. I need to focus on their weakness and make that weakness stronger. instead of like 70% is investing in their strengths, in their gifts, in their passion, in their personality, more than their weakness. Everyone's got weaknesses. No one's good at everything. But focusing in on that, like, it's amazing. Like Kiyoshi is an entrepreneur. He's got 3 companies. He's given 30% away to the homeless veterans in Dallas. Thank you to all the veterans and the families, active and retired in the military. And we love you. Thank you for your service. And the children of veterans, we love you. I wish our country really has done more for you, and especially our churches. I wish we actually would point the finger to ourselves and really make sure that not one veteran is homeless. Shame on us Christians. But the bottom line is when we look at ourselves and we look at our family, we look at our legacy. And when I think of legacy and bloodline, I think of my Uncle Bata Vujicic, who is in heaven now, and he was someone that I learned most from as a father figure over the years. And it's so incredible where here I was as a child once, never thinking I'd get married. How can I hold my wife's hand? How can I hold my kids when they're crying? To then my firstborn son saying, Daddy, I wish you had hands so I could feel your hug. He said, but don't worry, I'm going to hug you longer and stronger so you can feel my hug. And so to know that it's not just the cup is half empty, that sucks. It's overflowing, even with the good and bad. Our joy is not based on circumstances. It's decisions that you make in prioritization, and that starts in the home. And so if you want your child to be generous, don't talk to him about it. Show him what generosity is. You want to teach him forgiveness. You want to teach him grace. You want to teach him whatever, hospitality, be it. Respect, honor. He needs to see it. And so that, how we live is how we teach. More than our words. Yeah,
definitely. There's this question, and I don't know if I've ever told you this part, but there's a question that I ask my kids, and even my wife. It's like, what's my job? I ask them, what's my job? And their number one answer is going to be to protect me, or to protect us. And so, and I've even told them in light of, like, if your brother is coming for you, right? Because I got 4 boys, and it's just always a wrestling match. That's what it feels like.
Sounds crazy. God bless your wife right now, today. Love you very much.
And it's, let me know, because my job is to protect you, even from your brothers. And I step in and help them in a way that's, that they can't.
Oh, we just found out that, unfortunately, our YouTube video feed got cut off. Maybe my hands were in the way of the signal. I don't know. But we're going to just continue on, and we'll put the recording up for everyone else as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry about that inconvenience.
Which is great, because, for there's dozens of questions, but there's one question that came in that I found it very amazing to hear, because I've heard you say this, and I don't think a lot of people out there know, but your curriculum is out there in schools. Like your stuff, your actual thing are in schools, in public schools, in other nations. And so one of the students wrote in, and he said, I just listened to you in my 10th grade studies. And he was like, and now he goes, I've learned so much. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing how he said it, but I've learned so much. And now he said, how can I face the struggles?
Yeah, look, there's always ups and downs in everything. And first and foremost, I'm thankful that I am in the English subject textbook in India. Every 7th grader is looking at my story as an inspiration. And we've got also the AIAcurriculum.org, where about 100 schools in America are actually going through the values-based curriculum that we have there, Attitudes, Altitude. We're excited about revamping that for next year, moving forward. I think just taking one day at a time would be my quick, short answer. Setting small goals, medium goals, long-term goals. Very important to track your progress. Sometimes you don't feel like you're going anywhere, but if you actually track it, you actually see the little progress and maturity and resilience kind of rising in you. And so a long-term goal as well, even if you have to change it later on, it doesn't matter. I love that proverb where it says a man without vision dies. and having that vision. What does that look like? One day I want this. One day I hope to do this. And for me, it was one day I want to make a difference in an orphan's life. And I did that at age 19. I set the goal at age 17. You know, my goal at age 17, reading John Burley's Money Secrets of the Rich by John R. Burley. Hi, Sherry. Hi, John. Love you. Danny, Little John, love you very much. You know, taught me to set goals. Like, I want to make my first $1 million by 25. Okay, I was late, you know, 2 years late. But without the goal, right, it's not about trying to now figure out, like, I know there are some people watching from Africa, right, like that. It doesn't make sense sometimes and translate in monetary things. It's not about money. Money doesn't make you happy, but doing what you can where you're at is what I'm talking about. To reach your full potential, you need to set goals. The people who actually do reach their full potential don't wait to have more before they do more with what they have. And if you're doing everything great, then may God bless you, and keep on trying, and don't be afraid of trying different things as well. Don't be afraid of, you know, failure. You know, when you're going through struggle, I think a lot of people get disabled with fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. And then when you fail, you kind of feel like, well, that's the conclusion of who you are and your identity and your value, which is completely wrong, because value of who you are has nothing to do with what you achieve and what you fail at. And in fact, failure is your classroom. When failure is your classroom, you can't lose, man. And so those are some of the points that I would quickly answer back to that person.
That's great. And you recently said in one of our recordings, you said that failure is not the conclusion of your life.
That's right.
That's huge, because people fail and they think that's it. Like they just want to give up, you know. They want to do that. So I'm going to ask you the last question. Okay. All right. And I think it'd be a good pivot. And
I'm having fun.
And it's actually
great. This is gonna be fun. This is great. What you guys are witnessing is history. It's awesome. It's
definitely
awesome.
So one of the questions that the reason why I picked this one is because it's something that you're passionate about. Somebody asked, I heard that you have a film coming out.
Yes.
What is it, and when is it coming?
Yeah, the film is an incredible piece coming out on the 25th of September 2026 in theaters in America. We're still trying to figure out the timeline of theatrical release, with as well international timing, because we have 19 million social media fans, and 70% of them are not in the United States. And so hello to everyone. Love you. Thank you for loving me over all these years. I'm glad that we can do this thing for everyone. But this film, No Limbs, No Limits, it's basically my story. It's a biopictorial. My mom's in it. Hi, Ma. Love you. Thanks for being in it. My brother, my sister. Yo, love you. And so many other people. We interviewed a ton of people. Not everyone made the cut. But it's an incredible, inspiring story and arc of who Nick was as a child, family's perspective, my struggles, my attempted suicide, and how I overcome many, many things along the way. And really understanding that God still has a plan, knowing that all things do come together for the good, for those who love him, who have been called according to his purposes. And so really excited about it. And if you want to check out the trailer, go to nickvteam.com right now and sign up there for updates. There's going to be some opportunities where you'll be able to participate and be the first to hear all the announcements. So we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I saw the trailer, and I saw, I think, one of the first cuts of it. Yeah. Beautiful. And there's so much context and so much story behind it. And just like, honestly, this is, truth be told, inspired all over again. I'm so glad being able to see pieces of your life that I'm like, unless those things were recorded and captured, like, no, we would never know.
My mom, love you.
Seriously.
Thank you, Dushka Vujicic. You're amazing. You are amazing. You're the best. You're the best.
Well, thank you so much, Nick. That was really great. And I think we're going to be doing this a little bit more often, answering some of the questions that the public has, and people who are looking for hope, looking for answers to tough questions, right? Because some people don't have the resources to go somewhere else. And so they look to people like you, which I'm grateful that we're taking the time to do that. And so if you're joining us, I just want to encourage you, just subscribe and follow along for the journey. There's going to be so much of this happening and going deeper into these contexts and these questions and answering your questions, but also what are the heart pieces for your life to thrive, to find your relationship with God thriving as well, and in some cases even your businesses as well. So we're going to go into so many different categories and topics that and which is why Nick has said this, you can't see his arms because his arms extend so wide.
That's how much I love you. I love you so much.
To all the different types of content and subjects that go on. So
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. Thank you for joining us. And we're excited. This is going to be great. So we'll see you on the next one. And thank you for joining us today.
God bless. Love you.